Hey guys, bike review time again. This time I'm going to be reviewing my 2020 Czar Neuron 26-inch. Okay, so this time I'll cut right to the chase. The 2020s they haven't really changed the geometry at all, but they have changed a couple of things that make it a little bit nicer and a lot stiffer. The number one thing that they've changed is this down tube. I'll show you some close-ups of it, but it goes from a square tube section to more of an oval section, and then completely ovalized where it hits the bottom bracket down here. And it's really a beautiful looking tube, and it makes the bike a lot stiffer. And then also in the rear chainstays, they've gone to a box section for the rear chainstays. The yoke, I think the yoke is the same. It has about the same clearance as the old bike. And they've also gone to box section tubing for the whole rear triangle, actually. The geometry is the same, like I said. It's still 1024 wheelbase, plus 25 on the bottom bracket, 378 for the rear chainstays. So none of that has changed. The rear dropout is now just a hole in the frame, a 10mm hole. It's not a through axle because one side's not threaded, and they don't give you a piece to use a through axle. But if you have some of the bolt-on hubs, like the Hope or this Industry 9 or this Profile, that have removable bolts, 10mm bolts that just bolt straight onto the frame, you'll be fine. I guess that makes it stiffer. It allows you to use a couple less hubs than you could in the past. It works with Echo's hub that the Czar comes with if you buy the full bike. Yeah, it's fine. They've also fixed their chain tensioner, because the chain tensioner on the old one that I had, the 2018, was a little wacky. It was way overbuilt. It was a little heavy. This one, they've kind of pared it down. They've made it a little better. It obviously gets the job done. I modified this one too. Yeah, it comes with an ISIS bottom bracket, Spanish press fit bearings on their ISIS bottom bracket. The Czars, if you buy the full bike from Echo or from somebody that sells the full bike, it comes with their cranks, and it's got a pretty neat looking little 22 tooth with a bash guard that goes to their hub, and their hub is, I think it's a 72 points of engagement. Seems to be pretty nice. It's a single speed specific disc hub that you get. I got mine as just the frame because I have lots of spare parts and I like to build my own bikes. So I just got it as the frame and fork and put my old stuff on it. And it is all old stuff, really. I don't think I bought anything new for this one, because these cranks are not new, as you can see. The fork's the same as the old one. It's tapered headset, integrated headset bearings. These came with the frame that I got. 15mm through axle on the front. It's a post mount, which I'm not terribly crazy about, because to put adapters on post mounts, it just makes the bolts longer, which adds in more play. And I don't know, it'd be nice if it was an IS mount, or if it were natively a 200mm rotor size. I think it's 180. If you drop this down and put a 180, I run 200mm rotors front and back, so I need adapters. I'm not sure what the IS adapter in the back is. It might be natively for a 160mm rotor. Not exactly sure. I just had the right adapter, so I put it on, put the 203 on. It's been fine. So the biggest changes for the 2020 Czar are all back here. Like I said, they've gone to this box section tubing on the whole rear triangle. It really stiffens it up. I don't think they've changed the yoke any at all. It looks to be the same yoke they were using before, but instead of having tubular tubes, they are box section tubes, top and bottom. And then the dropout is now just a 10mm hole in the frame, so you won't be able to use a lot of hubs that aren't bolt-on, which is okay, because I've been running bolt-ons for a long time now, and they just, I don't know, I feel more secure with them. I don't know, skewers just seem flimsy now, but yeah, it's working fine. And they fixed their chain tensioner. Now, it's a double wheel tensioner, and I cut off the one wheel because I'm running an 18 tooth cog in the back, and I think you get enough wrap on an 18 tooth cog without having to run a double tensioner, and it almost works out to the golden ratio on your chain length. So it only needs a little bit of tension. So I cut off the top wheel and I'm just using the bottom wheel, and there's it's got a little self-adjusting thing for your chain line. So if you're using an aftermarket hub and you're not using the hub that Echo provides or the Czar provides with this bike, so you need to adjust your chain line a little bit. So it adjusts for the chain line. But this thing was way overbuilt last time. They've slimmed it down a little bit, made it a little more user friendly. They have one of their old hub end caps goes over it, so it's a smaller bolt now, and it there's a little recessed thing that interfaces. And anyway, it just makes it easier to get the rear hub off, because the last one, it was overbuilt to the point where there was almost touching the spacers on a hub, so that getting the rear wheel on and off was kind of a pain. But now that you have to take the bolts all the way out, it's a lot easier, even if they didn't change this. But they did change it. It's a little nicer. The jockey wheel's a little smaller. It's not rebuildable, unfortunately. All this is pressed in, so you can't change it. So if you want to change the color of your jockey wheel, sorry. I guess you could mangle it and then rethread it and do your own deal. But I didn't take it that far because I'm okay with it. I usually paint my frames. And I decided this time I was going to abuse the bike and then paint it once it was abused for a while, as opposed to painting it first thing. So we'll see how that goes. So yeah, the biggest changes were all back here, and it's super stiff. The stiffness is definitely noticeable. The reason I got the 2020 was because my old bike, the 2018 Czar, was developing some creaks, and instead of taking the whole bike apart and putting it back together nice and new, which I should have done, I just decided to get another frame and transfer all the parts over. So I got rid of the creaks in that way. Yeah, so let's look at the front now. Okay, so on the front end, like I said, you've got a tapered headset. It goes from 1 1/8 to 1 1/4 or 1 1/2. It's the same fork they used on the last model. I don't see any changes at all to this fork. It's still a 15mm through axle, which they've got their, the really long bolt on one side and then the fixing bolt on the other side. Works pretty good. I haven't had a problem with it. It's nice and light. Anodized red, same as the last time. The brake mount is set up for a 180mm rotor. It's a post mount, so to get to the 200 I had to add, an adapter, which makes it just a really long bolt that holds the whole thing together, which introduces a little bit of play, and it's a little harder to set it up. And I wish it were an IS mount, but I guess they also put these on the 24 inches, and on the 24 inches, if you're running 180mm rotors, it works out perfect. So you don't need the adapter. And I'm running the MT4 on the front. L.A. Clarkson said that he was using a double piston brake on the front, and it was having no problem. So I figured, okay, if he's using it, then I shouldn't need any more than that either. So I tried it. It's working great. Plenty of power. Probably adds to a little bit of modulation, since it's not the 4-piston full power anymore. It's a little lighter. Threaded through the steer. The steer is threaded, and they have this nice little top cap that's really easy to work with. It's nice and light, so it's pretty easy to do. I changed to the HC3 levers. You probably can't see those from this angle, so we'll do a top and talk about that. But anyway, I think if you buy the bike full up from Echo, it comes with Echo's front hub, which is pretty nice. I don't know anything about it really, but it looks pretty good from the pictures. I imagine it holds up pretty well. It's disc. It's 15mm. Front hubs, there's not a whole lot to it. They come with, I'm pretty sure, mechanical disc brakes. I think like BB5s or BB7s or something like that. And I'm okay with mechanicals up front, but I'm not crazy about mechanicals in the rear. So if you buy the bike full up, the first thing that I would change would probably be the rear brake and go to a hydraulic brake on the rear. But other than that, if you buy the bike like it comes from Echo, it's going to be pretty good. It's about a pound to a pound and a half heavier than the way I've got it built up, because I've got carbon rims and the little trick parts here and there. But you can do all that stuff later. If you buy the bike full up, it's going to be great from Echo. It's got pretty much the same cockpit that I'm running, just different materials. Okay, the cockpit hasn't changed a whole lot. 90x30 stem. I think that's what Echo gives you if you buy the bike from them. I used to be running arcade bars, high-rise bars. I'm now running, these are the Krugers carbon bars. They have basically the same numbers as the arcade bars, but they're a lot lighter because they're carbon. I think they look pretty darn good. The gray on the black looks really good with the red lettering. Um, MT5 for the rear, MT4 for the front. I changed to the HC3 levers because I finally found a good deal on them. Foam grips. You know, this is you. Most people customize how the handlebars and stuff are anyway. So, you know, whatever. I've got 20 millimeters of risers in here, and that's perfect for me. Nice threaded top cap. Easy to thread the hose through. That's all pretty standard. Looks pretty good. You know, the way the headset's done. You know, yeah, works out pretty well. Okay, so what's the verdict? I switched to the 26-inch bikes a couple of years ago when I got the 2018, and I've really enjoyed riding the 26-inch street trials. This is the only one you can get currently, unless you find the 2018 version on, you know, used somewhere. But this one is very stiff. All the things that they've done, this beautiful new down tube and this box section in the rear, it's made for a very stiff frame. And on my old body, it's too stiff. Hopefully it'll break in a little and become less stiff. I tried running less pressure in the rear tire, which is a little dangerous because pinch flats and all, but I mean, the stiffness was so much more noticeable that I needed to do something because it was killing me. I'm still actually riding my 2018 because all those creaks that I complained about I think are actually a bonus for me. So I put all the light parts back on that bike to make it super light, because this one is actually a little heavier. All the modifications that they've done, it adds a little bit of weight. It's not terribly significant when I weighed them. They're within a pound of each other when it's fully built up with all the trick stuff on it. So it's around 20 pounds, realistically anyway. This one's just stiff. It's probably going to last a long time because of that. It's, you know, it's built really well. Echo does a good job. All the welds look really good. You know, it's got the reinforcements where it needs it. You know, I think I got a good deal on it, so for the money, it was definitely worth it. It probably lasted me a long time. My old one's not going to be for sale anytime soon just yet, because I need to break this thing in a little more, I think. It rides pretty much exactly the same once you get used to that stiffness. Yeah, so I'm happy with it, and I'll probably eventually paint it because black's not my favorite color, but it's really easy to get all the other black parts for it. So if you just want to black out your bike, that's pretty easy. This is, I think it comes in a couple of different colors if you look hard enough, or if you have a friend in China who can get them. It comes in orange and red and a couple of other colors, but the black is the most is the one that you can find the easiest. So 2020s are pretty good, just really stiff.